So, I hate to admit that one of the things that I have not emphasized enough in our karate training is conditioning the fist. And you don't have to condition the fist old school Makiwara style with hundreds of repetitions hitting the post until you develop a calcium deposit on the knuckles and they get all big and ugly, and they say later in life it gives you arthritis. Mine are fine so far. But it is important that you have proper structure when you hit. This idea that punching anything solid is bad, that's a misconception that comes from people who teach reality-based self-defense, or they teach short courses, in which case using a fist is bad because they don't have time to train it, they don't learn how to make it right. So I'm going to briefly go over the fundamentals of how your fist should be formed and how your wrist and forearm should be structured upon impact. Now we'll talk later about how to generate power so that when this tool is being used, it's being used for max penetration, max force. So to begin with, making the fist, it's really very simple. You roll the fingers and you cover with the thumb. One more time, you roll the fingers, you cover with the thumb. These don't have to be super tight. I had heard stories about rolling it so tight and you put your hand in water, you bring it up and it should be dry. No, you can roll very light if you want to, as long as you have the fingers rolled to expose the knuckles. That's the whole purpose of rolling the fingers. The thumb, you're simply getting the thumb out of the way. This is bad, this is bad. But I feel this is best. This is what I had learned. But I've seen people do fine right here. I felt those punches, I've seen them. And all this is doing is getting your thumb out of the way, and it does add a little bit to the structure because it takes some of the give in the fingers. But by and large, you can't stop these fingers from bending. And if you hit wrong, they will bend and it will hurt. Correct hitting focuses on these two knuckles. There are some arts that will use the full fist. There are some arts that will use the smaller knuckles. I've learned the two, and the truth is, as long as you hit with this ridge of bones, it doesn't matter. If you're wearing a boxing glove, it doesn't matter. It's a big freaking leather heavy weight that you're pummeling the guy's head with. The advantage of hitting with these two bones is that, first of all, they're the largest of the two knuckles. Second, it gives you a minimal striking area. Basic physics. If you hit with a ping pong paddle, you're going to disperse all of that energy over a wide area. If you hit with a sharper surface, it's going to penetrate. Try that on your own hand. Pop the top of your forearm like this. You don't feel anything. Now do it with your thumb and feel the difference in the penetration and the pain that you get when you hit with those two knuckles. Second, if you hit with these two knuckles, you want to make sure that they're properly aligned. There's two levels of alignment. One is straight up and down like this. I have the two knuckles like so. If I were going to use the other knuckles, I would still go for alignment. I would go like this, and some arts do that. We choose to go this way for the reasons I just gave you. The next alignment is across the top. You want to make sure that this is straight. If it's down and you hit, it will buckle. When I'm working heavy bag and I don't have any wraps on and I'm not thinking about single karate punches and I'm doing combinations, more than once I've buckled my wrist. I don't have strong wrists to begin with, but that also tells you karate punches are not made for that kind of setups and combinations that you see in boxing. It's a different application. It's a self-defense, break something application, as opposed to tap, 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 knockout, or variety of combinations to set a guy up, break him down, that you see in the sportive application of the punches. So from here, two knuckles aligned like so, two knuckles aligned like so. That's your basic punch. How do you train it? At the most basic level, make your fist, roll them forward, put them on the ground so just those two knuckles are showing. No thumbs on the ground, just the knuckles. Put your weight on it. You start on your knees if you wish. And then right from here, just rotate with it. Focus on keeping this arm straight like this so that when I'm doing that push-up, it stays straight. Just like that. Okay? Most common mistake, people go like this, they go like this. Train to hit with just those two knuckles, and that's how you'll get maximum penetration, maximum force generation. Now, last point, the tightness of the fist, and this is kind of transitioning to actually throwing the punch. When you throw the punch, you want your arm relaxed. You want everything relaxed. That's how you maximize speed. Speed times the mass of your body and your fist is where the force comes from. So you want this to move as quickly as you can. If you make it too tight and you're clinching it, it'll slow you down. Boxers punch for 15 3-minute rounds and they don't get arm tired. Anyone who doesn't know what they're doing, they'll be tired in 30 seconds when they hit the bag, when they're pushing like this. It's the same thing with the karate punch. It's the same thing with making the fist. The difference is with a boxer is he's got it all wrapped up. He can relax his hand. He's grabbing cloth, multiple wraps. This thing's locked in position. He can't move it if he wanted to. You have to compensate with that with your ligaments and muscle when you keep the wrist straight. But the important thing is keeping the bone straight, not keeping the fist tight. So you can actually hit with your hand like this. Quick demonstration, then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so we selected this wall because it's 2 feet thick and it's made of concrete, and there's no way that if I hit it that I'm going to break the wall. Might break my fist. So the point being here is you don't have to have your fist wrapped like this to make contact. So if I want to hit like this, boom. Whew. Did you hear that? So when I hit this thing, I can hit it, but I don't need a tight fist. I can hit hard or harder with an open hand as long as everything remains straight. So from here, look, here, look. No, that's not my knuckles. Everything's straight. So if I'm staying very relaxed, I can hit just like that. So I'm not telling you to punch like that. We wrap this thing for additional safety. The point I'm trying to make is the really tight fist is not what gives you a hard striking element. It's the alignment. And so that's what we leave with today. 2 knuckles aligned this way, and that's when you make your contact, whether it's with a straight punch or with a hook or with an uppercut. You still have that same straight alignment. And that's today's karate lesson.